breakfast so that I didn't like wasted all this energy to digest and then not fall asleep, but almost. But alright, so the plan for today is we're gonna finish Shibuya Scramble, and after that we're gonna take a break, and after that we're gonna continue with Root Letter. At least one chapter. We'll see how it goes. So, when we last left our intrepid heroes, there was the blue minivan exploded. And I believe we still have, yeah, on Minorikawa, we still have a bad ending. We have a keep out on Osawa. Maria, I believe that her timeline has been affected. Back at the alley, we'll check this out, and after that, we're gonna jump in with Kano's story. I'm gonna check with Maria what's going on with the back alley. Because I thought there was a keep out on her as well.
I happen to notice something lying on the ground. What is it?
Ah, the notebook with the photos of two boys and a girl. Who could that be?
Well, what do I do now? Do I go to the police? How would I even explain the situation? I can see it now. There's this killer out there and he's after this person named Hitomi Osawa. And then the police will be like, who is that? And who exactly is after her? And then what would I say? They won't even give me the time of day in the first place. Meh, meh, meh. I can't even tell them who I am.
So there was a keep out, but for some reason it wasn't showing. Oh yeah, so false alarm. There you go. The scene of Sasayama's stabbing. Yeah, when we left Kano, Sasayama fought with Al-Karim and then got stabbed. Kano practically dived from the car when it arrived on the scene of Maria Macho. The place was teeming with officers and onlookers alike. Out of the way, please! Move aside! Kano forced his way through the throng. Sasayama was lying in a massive pool of blood. Ew! Sasayama! Kano rushed to his partner's side. The knife was still embedded deep in Sasayama's belly. Sandal shuddered each time he drew labored breath. Guess I messed up. Sasayama could only manage a raspy murmur. Please, don't try to talk, Kano urged. Looks like I won't be celebrating the Mrs. birthday. Sasayama drew out a small package from his pocket. It had been neatly wrapped and fitted with a pretty little ribbon. Here, give this to me-chan for me. Kano shook his head. No way! You can give it to her yourself. You've never met me-chan, huh? She's real pretty. Probably surprised how pretty she... I know. You've told me all about her. Kano, please, give this to my wife for me. Mustering up the last of his strength, Sasayama pressed the gift into Kano's hand. Sasayama? Sasayama's hands dropped back down into the puddle of blood. Sasayama! A paramedic team finally arrived at the scene. As Sasayama was loaded into the ambulance, Kano felt a surge of rage rolling inside of him. Clenching his fist so hard his nails dug into his palm, he marched over to the captive Al-Karawan. You son of a bitch! He wound up for a punch to Al-Karawan's face, only to have his arm caught forcefully by the elbow. Stanley, I presume. Spinning his head around, he found Stanley standing there. Let go of me, Stanley! But the American had a grip of steel and Kano's arm wouldn't budge. They allow you to assault suspect here in Japan? Do they? Kano bit his lip and lowered his shaking fist. No, of course not, he growled. Al-Karawan let out a nasal chuckle as he watched the pair. With a cold glare, Stanley strolled over to him. Yeah, Stanley is whispering something to Al-Karawan. He leaned in close to whisper something, and all at once the blood drained from Al-Karawan's face. Visibly shaken, Al-Karawan said something back to Stanley. Stanley gave a slight nod and left the captive with a police escort. Kano went over to him. Hey, what was that all about? Apparently, Al-Karawan gave Hitomi some instructions. Told her to get into a blue minivan that was parked along Dongenzaka. So, Stanley's hunch has been correct. But why had Al-Karawan confessed so quickly? How'd you get him to talk? You don't need to know that. Turning on his heel, Stanley went to report the news about the blue van to the task force. Kuze immediately directed the detectives nearest Dongenzaka to look into it, but they found no blue minivan in the area. The order then came down from all personnel to search for the vehicle. Kano thought back to another item in the Dick diary. Dick Dictum number 14. Use the dead as a stepping stone, but be sure to die a stepping stone yourself. Be sure to die a stepping stone yourself? In the abstract, Kano could appreciate the nobility of self-sacrifice, but when he thought of Sasayama's bloodstained figure, it wasn't so easy to keep his emotions in check. First time you ever see a fellow officer get hurt? Stanley had come back over to him. We don't have time to relax. If you can't keep your anger in, then do something about it here and now. Stanley pointed his own jaw. Hit me, American style. Kano smiled wryly at the unexpected proposal. No thanks, I'll be fine. Hitting this man wasn't going to make Kano feeling better. I'm the one who deserved to get hit. Thinking about Sasayama, Kano couldn't help but feeling guilty. Or, without a word, Kano threw a punch. Guess what I picked? Stanley soaked up the rage-fueled blow, his face a mask of calm. Kano felt all the more miserable in the face of such unflinching resolve. If I weren't such a bumbling clod, Sasayama would never have... Hey, don't blame yourself, Stanley said. You guys have been doing better than I expected. More sarcasm, huh? Stanley's mouth curled up sheepishly and he held his hand wide. Kuze's voice suddenly cut in over the wireless. We've located the blue minivan. Over. It's in Jinan 1, show me. On Koendori. Hitomi might be there. And maybe the kidnapper's ringleader would turn up too. On pure reflex, Kano broke into a run. Stanley followed close behind. They sped through the back streets, making their way towards Koendori. Kano was a pretty fast runner, but Stanley kept up with him without apparent difficulty. Were you in the army or something? No, the Marines. The United States Marine Corps. A rapid deployment force specializing in amphibious landing operation, an independent branch of the armed force, along with the Army, Navy, and Air Force. The Marines' motto is Semper Fidelis, Latin for always faithful. Semper Fi! It wasn't much further to Koendori. Kano, if you find that van, don't get too close, Stanley warned. It could be a trap. These people will do anything to carry out their goals. Anything, huh? Yeah, and then remembers all the dead people and Sasayama on the floor. Kano could sense the truth of Stanley's words. He reminded himself that his life could depend on remembering them. He raised his eyes. They were coming up on Koendori. Suddenly a boom as loud as cannon fire shook the area. Something's wrong, Kano thought. That's no ordinary city noise. A column of black smoke rose up from between two nearby buildings. Oh, that's the van blowing up, right? Passerby stop and stare, gasping in alarm. Yeah. Yeah, we see Kano and Stanley trying to break through the crowd. Oh, that's the first time I see a face of worry on Stanley's face. Nice. Then Kano saw flames. This hadn't been an accident. Someone had set off an explosion. The Shibuya precinct wasn't too far from there. Kano recalled the attempted bioterrorism attack on Kasumigaseki. That incident had begun with a van exploding outside of the Tokyo NPD station. Already, a large crowd of onlookers was gathering. Shouts rose up as they looked in the scene. What's going on?
What happened?
That car is on fire! Kano called into HQ and quickly slipped around to the back of the burning vehicle. It was a minivan. And there's a body. Peering at the plane's chassis, we could see that there's someone inside. Oh no. Could that be Tomi? Once they had their hands on the antiviral, the criminals would have no further use for Hitomi Osawa. Already, the body had been charred to ash. At this point, it was hardly recognizable as human anymore. Keep out. What now? So, where do I go from there? Maybe I should talk with... I think I need to change something on Maria's timeline. Because, Miku doesn't go to the shop at all. And I didn't know why. Alright. Run for it. I'm gonna try playing with the arrow, see what. Okay, the assassin doesn't answer. Little pistol, doesn't look like he wants to kill me. I remain motionless, waiting for an opportunity to run away. Okay.
I remain motionless, waiting for an opportunity to run away. I might not making in time. The man murmurs to himself under his breath. Not making in time for what? I'm curious now, but this is hardly the time or place to try to find out more. I've learned from certain that I'm not Hitomi Osawa, which basically tells me nothing. I'm right back to square one on figuring out who I am. The assassin had gone quiet. Sitting on a pile of crates, he seems lost in thought. Still, I don't dare to try to get away. All I can do is stand and wait and mull over my own situation. Just who am I? I ask myself again and again. I wanna be the one next to you. Leave him. Maybe he's just trying to get me back off my guard so he can shoot me in the back.
Do not go to the police or go back home.
He continues.
Lay low by yourself somewhere for a while.
How long is a while?
Until around sundown. This should all be over by then.
It'll all be over? I have no idea what it is, but I decide not to pry in case he decides to change his mind. Okay, I'm going to run away now.
Sure.
Take a slow step backward. Starting to turn away when he speaks up again.
Before you go, I need to tell you one more thing.
What's that?
When you get your memories back, I'm sure you're going to hate me. And so, I apologize in advance.
Of course, I have no idea what he's talking about, but he makes me even more uneasy.
I truly am sorry.
I've got no response for that, so I just give the man one last look before I turn and run.
Alright, let's see the timeline.
Decided to look for somewhere to hide for a while as the gunman suggested.
Okay. To be continued still there. Oh, Kano's bad ending. No, Kano's keep out has been removed. Midorikawa's keep out has been removed. Oh no, bad ending. Midorikawa's bad ending has been removed and Kano's keep out has been removed. Alright, I think I did something good.
But since I don't really know my feet from my right in this town, that's easier said than done. Before I realized it, I made my way back to the knick-knack shop where I bought the necklace. Maybe I could hide out in here? As I contemplate that possibility, I hear an all too familiar voice.
That must be Miku. Tama 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 tama! Oh.
Now, there's Mr. Yadagishita on the floor of the shop has been tied out with some rope. What happened, boss?
Look, this is all just... I was framed.
Nah, whatever's happened, I'm pretty sure it was all his fault. Just call it a hunch.
He says I'm a thief. Well, I say he's a thief for selling stuff he finds around town. Hey!
The sale clerk steps into view, scowling.
Just what are you implying?
What in the world is going on here? I haven't the foggiest.
Tama, help me, please.
Yadagishita kicks and squirms like an hyperactive child.
Do you know this man?
The sales clerk asks. No, well, I mean, sorta.
He's a real pain. He's been making a scene like this for as long as he's been here.
I find it hard to imagine a worse way to interfere with someone's business.
I hate to ask,
The clerk continues.
but could you take him to the police for me?
The police?
Yeah?
Oh, well, the police. The gunman did specifically warn me not to go to them. I feel no loyalty to that killer, but I am reluctant to antagonize him. And for reasons I can't explain, I have a strong sense that going to the police right now, is a bad move. But Mr. Yanagishita isn't privy to my thoughts, and he looks up at me with a hopeful gleam in his eyes.
Yeah, that'll work. Tama can take me to the police. And then we can put this all behind us. All's well that ends well, right?
Well, sure. Feeling like I have no choice, I leave the shop with him.
Yeah, now he's free. Okay!
Mr. Yanagishita says excited as soon as we are out of earshot.
Now, let's go find Chiri!
Huh? Aren't we going to the pole?
What? No, we're not really gonna go. Oh man, I am so glad you show up, Tama. Now come on, let's go find Chiri.
From the big grin on his face, I have an inkling of what's coming next. You've thought on another get-rich-quick scheme, haven't you?
Goodness, Tama, you can see right through me.
It's not that difficult. It's practically written all over your face, boss! But Mr. Yanagishita isn't really listening. He's too full of enthusiasm.
This time, I got a line on 10 million yen! So come on, let's go make ourselves stinking rich!
He punctuated his grand announcement by pointing fervently at some non-existent listener.
Oh, flashback. Several weeks later. Is that a bad end? Iron Stomach, a celebration of truly astonishing appetites. Then we mighty stomach triumphs. Oh.
I stand with Cheery on the winner's podium. The cheers and applause are deafening when the master of ceremony makes the announcement.
Oh, I get it. The Iron Stomach competition. They brought Cheery in and she won. And yeah, the grand prize is 10 million yen. Now everybody is wearing lace on their necks. Shiri's wearing a big king's crown and a trophy, and she's holding him high. And everybody is like, yeah, look at her, look at the champion. Yeah, Maria is giving one of her best smiles.
Shiri is the champion! She laughs with delight as she holds up the trophy that signifies her 10 million yen win. And me? I got runner-up. I wasn't too into the idea at first, but after giving it a shot, I found that professional gluttony kind of grows on you. Even I was surprised by how much I could eat, and I had to admit, it felt kinda good. My memory still hasn't come back though, but that doesn't matter anymore. I found myself a new purpose. Hey! To steal Cherry's spots on the throne. That right there is now my greatest goal in life.
What? Oh, that's not a bad end. The Throne of Gluttony. Bad end number 47. No. This is like Kano getting married, getting off the police force. Tama never got her memories back. She ended up starting a new life on the competitive eating circuit. Which may not be a horrible fate, but wouldn't it be better if she recovered her whole life as Maria? When she was cornered in the alley by the man with a cane, there's someone who could have turned up and helped her out. Yeah, Nagishita, but he can't do that if he ends up getting tied up at the knick-knack shop. Oh, okay. How come he was tied up at the knick-knack shop? I thought we were running away from... So, okay, so this is bad end. Where is Yanagishita headed? Oh, let's put him somewhere else. Yeah, good idea. Let's put him somewhere else. Oh wait, if we do that, are we gonna find him? Let's see if he's back at the sales demo venue. Probably was headed to the sales demo venue. Flashback. Maybe he was planning to find some more customers and auction the laptop off to them. Damn. The guy had let him off on the wild goose chase. Mirikawa ran around center guy throughout the Nokani building where the sales demo had been held. Before he got there, however, a glance to one side stopped him in his tracks. Aha! He chirped. He had spotted the knick-knack shop where he'd run into Miku's about 2 hours earlier. Out in front of it was a poster that read, "We buy computers at top prices." Now he was certain Yanagishita must be in there. There you are, Yanagishita! Oh, that didn't work. Yeah, that didn't change much. Well, let's keep it rolling, because I don't see a bad end anymore. I don't know how he got caught in the first place. So, we're gonna avoid the meeting. You're the idiot. We've already seen that. Oh, my angel! Whatever is my darling Miku doing here? Miku stood in the doorway on the verge of tears. Mr. Minorikawa! She began. Then her voice choked up. Miku? What's the matter? Is something wrong? Hey! Miku drew in close to Minorikawa's side. Huh? Yanagishita's gaze darted back and forth between Minorikawa and Miku. The two know each other? Sort of. More to the point. Is she the girl you said you were in love with? That's right, the one and only Miku. I have her entrance music set as my ringtone. Paying no heed to Yanagishita's excitement, Miku kept her eyes fixed on Minorikawa. I lost to a girl who knows Aiki Jujutsu. I lost! And then she threw herself into his arms. Oh, she buried her face in Minorikawa's chest. Oh! Yanagishita let out a gasp. What's this about? What in the what is this all about? He seems on the verge of panic. Mr. Minorikawa, I need to learn Aiki Jujutsu. I feel so ashamed. She buried her face even deeper in Minorikawa's chest. That's so unfair. Yanagishita is jealous. Then he runs away. With tears in his eyes, Yanagishita darted out of the door. Minorikawa glared after the pathetic fellow as he scampered off. The guy sure knows how to take advantage of a bad situation. I gave him that. Oh wait, the guy sure he murmured. I can't let him get away. I'm gonna catch him and hand over to the police. And you just let I got my partner back. You know what? Let him be. If we catch him, he's gonna be meeting Maria, and we don't want that. Not now. Anyhow, I'm just glad I got my partner back. Ordinarily, he'd be inclined to pursue Yanagishita and subject him to a tirade, at the very least, but there was no time for that now. He explained the situation to the shopkeeper, who flashed a sympathetic smile. Ah, is that so? Lucky for you he screwed up then. Much as I'm happy to do business, I just can't buy a computer that doesn't come with its accessories. So you had brought it. You would have bought it from him if he had the accessories. Of course. Stolen or not, it's not the same once once I sold it. Shopkeeper chuckled unapologetically. Huh. I suppose that's true. Minorikawa laughed along with him. Yeah, all the same. Like hell it is, he roared. The shopkeeper froze like a startled rabbit. I bet everything you have for sale here has been stolen, hasn't it? Don't be ridiculous. I'll warn you up front, there's no use hiding things from me. I've interviewed you after all, I know you. The shopkeeper was getting more and more flustered. Well, I mean, look, this is just between you and me, okay? Sometimes I go around gathering stuff that people have lost and I sell it here. But it's not stolen, just repurposed, okay? There's nothing wrong with that, right? The shopkeeper smiled ingratiatingly. You moron! Minorikawa stuck his finger in the man's face. Selling lost property is a serious crime too! A potation violation of Article 254 of the Penal Code of Japan regarding embezzlement of lost property, which states, a person who embezzles lost property, drift property, or any other property which belongs to another person and is in no one's possession shall be punished by imprisonment with work for no more than 1 year, a fine of not more than 100,000 yens or a petty fine. Yikes. It is? Well, I mean, I guess I sort of figured it might be. I mean, sometimes... Well, I'm not the police. I'm more into curiosity than legality. In fact, I find this all pretty fascinating. I mean, what sort of things have you gathered up for sale? Well, let me see. Yeah, like this, and that, and that, and that, and that. The man pointed to various items on the shelves. And also this, and that, and that, and that, and that, and that, I guess. Mirikawa's eyes directed all over the shop. Yeah. Everything the shopkeeper had pointed out has a hefty price tag. 1,000 yen for an alarm clock that's been clearly left on the road. And you're actually able to sell things like this? Mirikawa asked. Sure, I can sell stuff. Earlier today, someone bought a big necklace. I listed it for 40,000 yen, but I discounted down to 30,000. And you can still make a profit even offering discounts? Sure, I mean, it was just something I found lying on the ground after all. Mirikawa looked back at him, and for a moment he laughed as well. Then his face turned hard. This is no laughing matter, he bellowed. You need to stop what you're doing here right away. Otherwise, you're going to find out what it's like to get punished by my pen of justice. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. The shopkeeper bowed repeatedly. He's on his knees and he asked for forgiveness, for mercy. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Mirikawa glared. The truth was right now. Was that right now he was so busy he had to let this guy slide. Still, this whole asinine affair has eaten up a big chunk of time he didn't have to waste. He was going to have to finish up his copy back at the editing office. Laptop in hand, he left the shop only to stop short when a slight figure stepped up in front of him. Miku! Mr. Mirikawa! Miku stood there barring his path. Please, introduce me to a dojo where I can learn Aiki Jujutsu. I'm sorry. I really don't have time for this right now. Mirikawa tried to hurry onward, but she stubbornly refused to let him pass. You introduced me to that other dojo before, remember? I suppose so, now that you mention it. He tried to slip by her on her right-hand side, but she was quick to block him. Oh, she's crying too. You're the one who introduced me to the world of martial arts, Mr. Mirikawa. Well, yes, but, you know, you're putting me in a bit of a bind here. Trying to slip by on her left was a no-go too. She could anticipate his every move. Please, just hear me out, Miku said. She was speaking through quiet sobs now. I can't stand to live things like this. She looked Mirikawa right in the eye. Sorry, just have to persevere until you're able to win again. This is a good opportunity for you. You can find someone to do it yourself that is in martial arts. I'm sorry, but I have the time to have this discussion right now. Alright. What am I gonna say to her? I'm gonna try sorry. You just have to persevere until you're able to win again. It's something you need to do yourself. But you were the champion at one pub, right? Maybe your mistake was thinking that you'll be able to win with an actual, for real fight. Miku began to tremble. You jerk! Miku delivered a blindingly fast slap to Mirikawa's cheek. Why'd you have to put it like that? You're so mean! Bursting to tears, Miku ran off. Hey, Miku! She gave no sign she'd heard him and didn't turn around. Mirikawa rubbed his cheek, it stung. For once, he actually regretted what he said. For once. Maybe he shouldn't have assumed she'd be willing to just give up her hobby. He did in fact know of several Aiki Jiu-Jitsu dojo. If only at the time he could have introduced her easily enough. Checking his watch, he saw that he only had 30 minutes and change until 4 o'clock. Yeah, 30 minutes and change, like it's like 3:25. There was no more wiggle room at this point. These articles need to get written fast. He needed to get back to the editing department. And yet, oh darn it, all the hell, I can't work done like this. I can't get work done like this. Minorikawa broke into a run. But he didn't run for Heaven Publishing. Instead, he went after Miku. What? Keep out? That was a keep out? Okay. I think I know where to go. I have to go back to Maria. Since her bad ending has been removed, I'm gonna go until there's a point where I can jump. Because I think this little part has been unlocked with Minorikawa. Now I have to press until I found a red word, so I can jump back to Minorikawa to break the keep out. Tama! Tama! I am Tama Itomi, Tama Itomi, none of the above.
None of those names fit me at all.
Tama!
I turned at the sound of an exuberant voice and see Mr. Yanagishita running my way, flailing his arm in a friendly greeting. I swear, this guy could wind up banished to the pits of hell, and he'd still give it his all, day in and day out.
Oh, thank goodness. It is you, Tama. I knew it.
The man with the cane grumbles sometimes in Korean, but holsters his gun and flees his scene.
Now you're with some middle-aged guy. You look so sweet and innocent. Oh, wait. Huh? Wait. Is that... Now you're with some middle-aged guy. You look so sweet and innocent, but I guess you kind of get around, huh?
Boss, nice timing! I do a little fist bump. Whatever he's doing here, I'm glad he drove off that guy with a gun.
What are you so happy about?
Yanagishita gave me a puzzled look. But he's promptly distracted by his own excitement.
Well, anyway, never mind that, Tama.
He shifts down to a conspirational whisper.
You know, I'm such an idiot. I can't believe I was in such a teasy over some silly scratch card from a magazine. I can tell he has news he's itching.
I can tell he has news he's itching to tell me. Did something happen?
Well...
He brings a hand to his mouth and giggles unsettlingly.
I had a great little idea. A great way to strike it rich.
I feel like I've heard this from you before. Mr. Yanagishita shook his head fervently.
This time is different. We're taking way more digits than before. Now try not to be too surprised, yeah?
Spittle flies from his mouth as he rattled on.
Or, okay, it's okay to be surprised, actually. In fact, I'm guessing you're definitely gonna be amazed this time, Tama.
I can practically see the banknotes dancing in his eyes. Cut to the chase already. What does he want to tell me?
This time, get this. I got a line on 10 million yen.
He thrust his index finger skyward, grinning ear to ear.
Surprised now? Yeah, you are. And it doesn't require any capital. It's no risk, high return. In the world of equity investment, a wise investor weighs risk against the potential for return. Many heavily risky projects, however, yield little in the way of actual returns. Such cases are called high risk, low return. The inverse, low risk, high return, is quite rare. The idea of no risk, high return is simply absurd.
There's a crazy gleam in his eyes.
He's looking at us.
Ah.
Oh man, I'm finally gonna get to be part of the Billionaires Club.
That's so ridiculous. I don't even have a snappy retort for it. Never mind that 10 million obviously wouldn't make him a billionaire.
By the way, you haven't seen Chiri, have you? We're gonna need her help to wrap up this 10 million yen.
Chiri? No, I haven't run into her since the sales demo.
Oh darn. Well, if you do happen to see her, tell her to get in touch with me.
Sure, alright. I still don't know what he's going on about, but there's probably no harm in being helpful.
Thank you, Tama. Guess I may as well give you a little hint.
Hint?
Yeah, hint. Wanna hear it? Sure, thank you, not particularly.
Sure, thank you.
Well, then, I guess I've got no choice. When you put it that way, I just have to tell you.
Mr. Nagishita clears his throat and proceeds to claim is an affected tone.
With the mighty stomach triumph over the endless cavalcade of icebergs, the hero shall be blessed with fame and fortune.
Huh? What the heck is that supposed to mean? He looks inordinately amused at my confusion.
It's part of a legend. You only need to remember that one verse for now. You're going to bear witness to history.
I feel like this guy's right out on some kind of story himself.
Anyway, thanks for helping me out with the Chiri thing. Adios.
And then, like a whirlwind, Mr. Yanagishita resumes away, leaving me alone in the alley. Phew! Suddenly I felt totally exhausted. I let out a sigh and dropped my eyes, and that's when I noticed a notebook on the ground at my feet. Did the assassin drop this? I picked it up and looked inside.
Oh yeah, the photograph. That was a big parenthesis. Now it's over. The notebook with the picture. This all over again.
Keep out!
Wait, where was the jump then? Was it on Archie's timeline? I think it was. But now, the to be continue on Archie has been destroyed for some reason. What? Keep out. Keep out. What is this? Surveillance camera. Oh yeah, I have to redo the to be continue because Minarikawa doesn't run after Yanagishita anymore. Wait. No. But that wouldn't have happened anymore. Like, this guy gets chased around a lot. Yeah, because now we see... Oh, no. No. That happened. I'm gonna just redo the same... Yeah, that was in the past, I think. But only like for 5 minutes in the past. Tomi gets his phone. Oh! The guy was in a black alley. Oh my god! Wait, I'm gonna read that.
It's an email from Mr. Tanaka.
Found him! Achi shout, cut Itomi off. The guy was in the back alley of Center Guy, and there's a surveillance camera of Yanagishita talking with Maria. He was talking with someone. Huh? Is that? Achi blinked a few times as he leaned closer to the screen. He told me? You have come to look at this. You have to come to look at this.
Ah! That's my sister!
He told me, brim with excitement. For real?
I think so.
What's she doing in a place like that? And why is she talking to that guy?
I'm not sure.
The monitor showed a cheerful little scene. Looks like they're having fun. Guess since they're twins, they're both into older guys. As she felt his mood start to sour. Oh, I have to ask. Are you sure she was kidnapped?
Yes. At least I thought so, and so did the police.
Then what's this all about?
Should we go and see for yourself?
Guess so. Oh, what about that email? Achi pointed out at Itomi's cell phone. Shouldn't you take a look at that?
My sister comes first. That place where she is it far from here?
No, not particularly. Achi and Itomi rushed from the building and into the alley where Maria was talking to the computer team. Can I jump? I think I'm gonna break that keep out. Yes, I'm breaking the keep out. Yeah, alright. Progress.
Suddenly, someone called out.
Maria!
Huh? I spin around to see a young girl running towards me.
Oh, no. Now we see Tomi. Behind her is Achi, and behind him is still the assassin guy with the cane.
She kinda looks like me. Behind her are two men. One of them is the man with the cane. He raises his gun and aims it at her. Oh no, he's going to shoot her. The instant I realize what he's doing, I'm lunging towards him. He shifts his grip on the gun and clubs me in the head. I stagger against the wall, trying to keep my feet, but my legs buckle under me and I crumple on the spot. I don't even know why I tried to protect this girl. My body just moved on its own. Maybe it was just a reflexive impulse to help someone in danger? But am I the sort of person who would risk her life to protect some complete stranger?
Bad end. Aww. Protecting the girl. Bad end number 46. Yeah, Mario's impulse to protect her stranger is selfless but ill-fated. Of course, the stranger's extra sister If you know what causes Hitomi to show up here, you can probably avoid this untimely end. Oh, okay. So it was a trap. This was a trap. Let's not jump. Or even take the decision of Hachi and Hitomi rushed from the building and into the alley where Maria was talking to the computer thief. It wasn't long before they were closing on their destination, but as they headed down in the narrow side street, a familiar figure suddenly appeared to bar their way. The assassin with a cane. Uh-oh, it's him. Gun in hand, the man with the cane slowly ambled towards them. Hachi and Hitomi bolted down the nearby alley. Oh, taking another turn, they reached the alley they're seen on the cameras. Maria! Maria! Hitomi rushed over to her sister, but Maria just stood staring at Hitomi in silence, as if she couldn't process what was going on. Meanwhile, the assassin was still in pursuit. He had turned the corner behind them and was steadily drawing nearer. He pointed his gun at Hitomi's head. Come on, hurry! Hachi urged. He tried to lead the two girls away, hoping to escape further down the alley. But instead, Maria charged boldly at the man with a cane. Ow! The assassin was caught off guard by the unexpected counterattack, but he reacted quickly, clubbing the girl in the head with the grip of his pistol. Maria! Hitomi shrieked. She stared in horror as her sister collapsed in the hip on the ground. Then Hitomi's eyes rolled back in her head and she fainted into Hachi's arms. Hitomi! Hey! But the shock had overwhelmed her. She was out cold. The assassin's getting closer. He's got a shot. Slowly, the assassin lifted his gun again, aiming for Hachi and Hitomi. If he only had Hitomi to protect, Hachi might have been able to pick her up and get away. But he couldn't just leave her sister here. He knew, with the chilling certainty of despair, that he could never save them both. Bad end! Number 44, Sisters in the Alley. Alright. So I have to I don't have to go back to the jump, I have to go back to the decision. Here. Email from Tanaka. Was that it? Okay, well, there was no that was not a decision. This decision would be the surveillance camera. So let's forget about Yanagishita completely. All right, my bad. Because they're looking for the minivan. Hachi switch over to a different camera. He continued switching view, scanning the streets of Shibuya, but there was no sign of a blue minivan anywhere. Still, they remain glued to the monitor.
Oh, that's me! It's an email from Mr. Tanaka.
Okay. Yeah, Tanaka found the minivan. Okay, what about your sister? Can I jump here?
Eventually, I muster up the energy to start walking around town, heading nowhere in particular.
There's a picture of I'm a key.
The billboard outside of a department store displays a poster of some female musician. She must be pretty popular because lots of passersby stop to take a good look. Am I just imagining things? I feel like I saw this same poster somewhere very recently. Standing on the end side is a woman taking on her cell phone. It sounds like she's having an argument with whoever's on the line. I don't want to be nosy, so I just pass on by. As I came out onto Koendori, I gradually come to a halt. I'm a little tired from all this aimless wandering around. I let my gaze stray along the streets as I consider my next move. Then, I catch sight of a blue minivan parked across the street. Oh! Suddenly my heart starts pounding. I know this! I know this minivan! If I head over to it, I'm sure I remember something. As if pulled by some huge magnet, I take my way towards the vehicle.
And then it blew up.
There's a sudden thunderous boom. I'm knocked flat by a blast of energy and the world goes all topsy-turvy. As I lie in shock, a wave of unfamiliar images fills my mind. A cloud of whirling dust in some place that isn't Japan. A simple room with unfamiliar architecture. A girl. And I know the girl's name. Her name is Kanan. On the verge of that revelation, my consciousness fades away.
Bad end? A sudden blast. Number 45. Wait. I didn't read that. Maria arrived on Koendori just in time to get caught in the minivan explosion. If she's going to avoid this fate, she needs to stay away from that vehicle. Someone else's action can ensure that Ana Toyama crosses paths with her again. Oh, then Maria will talk to her and avoid the minivan. Oh, yeah. I think I remember that. She fell from the sky somehow. But where was it? Alright, now Achi's timeline has been cleared, and now I'm back to the to be continued thing. Hitomi approaches the van, but there's a jump to that guy. Is it Minorikawa this time? Yes, I can jump. And the keypad is broken. Alright. Running around Koendori in pursuit of Miku, Minorikawa heard a cell phone ringtone coming from somewhere nearby. Oh, he's near the van! Oh shit! He got blasted off again. Yeah, he heard the... Alright, so there was a bomb in the van who is activated by cell phone. Suddenly a massive fiery blast knocked him from his feet. A deafening roar set to his head throbbing. What was that? What's going on? He lay dazed on the ground, trying to wrap his mind around what had just happened. Like everybody started to get nearby the blue van for some reason. He smelled the foul scent of burning rubber. Then came a sound of quick footsteps rushing up to him. Mr. Minorikawa! A voice called up to him as if across an impossible distance. Mr. Minorikawa! Was that Miku? Yes. He forced his eyes open and saw Miku looking anxiously down at him. Mr. Minorikawa! Miku, those things I said earlier, I'm sorry. I went too far. What are you talking about? That's not important right now. Miku choked back a gasp, and Minorikawa realized he had blood leaking from his mouth. Oh. His body wouldn't move and his mind was reeling. What happened? Tell me. Miku's voice was dry and hoarse. There was a minivan. It exploded. Exploded? A minivan exploded on a city street? That sounds like a terrorist act. His reeling mind drifted back to the attempted bioterrorism attack on Kasumigaseki 2 years earlier. An unoccupied minivan has exploded outside an MPD station, and afterwards a device meant to scatter a dangerous biological agent has been discovered near the subway. With sudden clarity, Minorikawa recalled what Osawa had said earlier. The power balance of the entire world might be at stake here. Could there be some sort of connection between Osawa's warning and this explosion? There was. There has to be. Minorikawa's journalistic intuition told him it must be true. Something terrible was underway here in Shibuya. Police! A man in a suit announced. He crouched beside Minorikawa and gently lifted his head and torso. Oh, it's Kano! Hang in there, buddy. Stay with us. The change of position allowed Minorikawa to clear his airway, and he sucked in a deep breath. But as he did, an intense pain shot through his lung. I think I might be done for. Whatever his intuition might be telling him, it didn't look like he'd ever be able to write about it. But if he couldn't get his word onto the page, the least he could do was tell someone else. With his last act, maybe he could still accomplish something. He's trying to get a few words out. Osawa, Kenji Osawa, the power balance of the entire world. As his voice faded, he heard the sound of the ambulance sirens approaching. Paramedics began frantically unloading stretchers. Turning his head, he saw a number of other people who had been injured in the explosion laid out on the roadside. Amongst them, there were a woman and a child. Emergency workers bearing a stretcher came over to Minorikawa. Forget about me, I'm beyond helping. See to the others instead. Minorikawa shouted inwardly, but no one heard. Another bad end. These things, number 49, these guys, they hide bad ending inside jumps. Minorikawa chased Miku as far as Koendori, only to be caught in the blast when a minivan suddenly exploded. Through simple words can change his fate. Someone who shouts something at 3:30 needs to change what it is they shout. If Minorikawa hears something that grabs his attention, he may not get too close to the explosion. Oh. Alright, so who yells at 3:30? So this is 3:30. There's a bad end at 3:30 with Maria. To be continued for Achi is at 3:30 for some reason. Osawa, there's a branch. Classical recommendation. What to do here? This is still a keep out. There's a bad end here. There's still a keep out for Sawa. There's this bad end here. What's your name? What a hint. This is pointless. This happened at 3:20. Yeah, at the same time. 3:10. What to change? Classical recommendation. What's this? No thanks to banana. I have no idea how to untangle this. I need to try some stuff. This already did. Alarm bell started going on. She's mine. It was dangerous for Kelsey. Step back. Oh! If I say, Tommy, wait! Tommy, wait! And she shouted. But she didn't appear to hear his cries. Over her screaming sisters ruined the house from his mind. And she stared out after her. Tommy has reached the vehicle already. She brought her face close to one of his windows, but the tinted glass obscured the view inside. Tommy circled around the minivan on the other side. As she started grasping at the door, she thought of his view for just a moment. That van flew high. He saw two figures sprawl on the street several meters. Itomi and Kanan. Oh! Oh no, that's fine. No, that's how it happened. That's how it happened. Okay, now I'm sure this is saved. Alright. Did this change anything? Yeah, there's no more bad end on Minorikawa's side. Yeah, just by saying Itomi, wait. Itomi, wait! As he ran along Koindori after Miku, Minorikawa heard someone shout a familiar name. Itomi? It was a pretty common name. Ordinarily, he wouldn't have given it a second thought, but he remembered that one of the Miss Midoriyama winners was named Itomi Osawa. That made him curious. A moment later, he heard a cell phone ringtone. He immediately recognized it as a Naya Kamiki song. His reporter instinct tingled. He stopped to take a look around, and one young woman caught his eyes almost immediately. Yeah, there's Hitomi in front of the minivan. He couldn't assume that any pretty girl he saw was Miss Midoriyama. After all, it'd be a little too convenient if he just so happened to rush into her now. Still, it didn't cost him anything to ask. Are you Hitomi Osawa? He might as well at least check. But to his own surprise, he hesitated in embarrassment. He'd never been too embarrassed to ask a question before. He didn't get a chance to contemplate that realization. Boom! A massive fire blast knocked him from his feet. A deafening roar set his head throbbing. What was that? What's going on? He lay in a daze on the ground, trying to wrap his mind around what had just happened. Behind him there was a minivan, firstly ablaze. A minivan, an explosion. The first thing to pop into his mind was the attempted bioterrorist attack on Kasumi Gaseki 2 years earlier. Yeah, you gotta explain this over and over again. No one had done harm. Rumored government had paid the terrorist organization a hefty sum to keep it that way. Minarikawa was a stone throw from the Shibuya precinct. Could this be a repeat of the Kamigaseki attack? The entire area was in an uproar. People were running around in panic. Minarikawa could see several injured people lying on the ground and moving, yet despite the gravity of the situation, numerous onlookers were casually taking photos with their cell phones. Minarikawa got to his feet and went to try to get everyone away from the scene of the explosion. Hey, you guys, get back! There could be another bomb! Minarikawa looked around as he pushed back the crowd. He was getting the strong whiff of the scoop. He needed to write his copy ASAP, but he couldn't just turn his back to the situation now. Two young men were strolling toward the burning vehicle. They had the look of juvenile delinquents. Whoa, what the heck? Is this for real? Ain't this dangerous? Like, for serious? The pair tried to find optimal vantage point. Hey, Minarikawa snapped. Don't get any closer! Spread his arms wide to hold them back. The young man came to a halt, but otherwise paid him no heed. Oh, this is bad. This is for real bad. This is a terrorist thing? Yo, get off your phone, come on. But like, you think this is a terrorist thing? Dude, shut up. Just hurry and call Suzumu. The father of the two, dressed in red, was ordering around his blue-clad companion. Oh, those are the street dogs. Huh? The boy in blue, huh? Man, do it yourself. Say what now? Bitch, this ain't no time to get yourself all worked up. Minarikawa stood there, arms still held wide, getting more and more annoyed at their back and forth. Yo, just make the call, man. The young fellow in red scowled and wasn't going to back down. Oh, yo, what difference does it make if I do it or you do it? It doesn't make any difference. It doesn't matter if you do it. Yeah, right, it doesn't matter. So in that case, you do it. Look, I'm telling you just to make the damn call. And I'm telling you just to make it your damn self. Oh, enough of this already. Minarikawa opened his mouth and tell them off. But then the young man in red spoke again. Dude, the goods from over at Endo's Electronics are gone. You gotta let Suzumu know. The name Endo Electronics caught Minarikawa's attention. Huh? Yeah, but ain't that all that Achi dude's fault for getting all uppy at us? I mean, it was Kiryu who told us to go find the Endo house. Yeah, but Suzumu don't like dealing in stolen goods. Says it's dirty as the SOS name. Well, what a coincidence. Looks like these two were SOS members. Hey, Minarikawa called out. You too! He finally succeeded in getting their attention. Where's this Suzumu fellow? I'd like to talk to him. He had no idea who Suzumu was, having only heard the name just now. Still, from the way these two were talking, it seems clear that he held some position of leadership. Huh, you think I'll tell you if I knew? The fellow in red snarled. Minorikawa kept his composure. Listen! You guys know the Tenryugumi? The Tenryugumi was a Yakuza syndicate that operated in Shibuya. An up-and-coming Yakuza syndicate that turned up on the scene 10 years ago. With the seemingly legitimate Takarada financing and its fine business front, the group offer monetary solution for people in financial trouble, but those who accept their offers soon find that their trouble only grow and grow. Embroiled in conflict with the Kanto Shiraminigumi, who had been long established in Shibuya. The street kids were sure to be familiar with the name, if nothing else. I may not look it, but I'm pretty tight with the Tenryugumi. And maybe you two don't know it, but Suzumu been showing up at their office a lot lately. Suzumu's been dealing with the Yakuza? Whoa, for real? Sweet! The two punks bought it completely. Alright, okay. What's SOS using as their hangout these days? I've got a little something to discuss with Suzumu. Right now, it's this bar called Inferno. Minorikawa made a mental note on the name. Right. So, sorry. So, Inferno is where exactly? The two young men suddenly looked distinctly uncomfortable. Uh-oh. Later. Yeah, I got a thing I gotta do too. Backing away, they took off through the crowd. Hey, wait up! I need to know where Inferno is. But the pair had already vanished. Oh, behind we see Hachi and Hitomi. Ambulance began arriving at the scene and paramedics rushed out to tend the wounded. Oh, so that's why they get the fuck out. The guys from SOS left because Hachi was there. Ambulances began arriving at the scene and paramedics rushed out to tend to the wounded. Excuse me, would you mind answering a few questions? Minorikawa turned out to see a man in a suit approach him, flashing his badge. This is Kano, and the words are in red. Can I... Oh, what? I cannot do the jump? It says 3:30. Come on, man. Why is it gone? I don't get it. Do I have to reproduce the keep out? Why am I stuck with the pedantics of all things? Yeah, I have to see that cutscene all over again. This is Kano and Stanley moving people. Oh, there's a fire. Oh dear, we have to save. Attempted bioterrorism attack was in blue apparently. There was a device for dispersing a bacterial contagion that was discovered at the subway platform at Kazumi Gazaki Station. Having determined that the city bureaucracy was the target, the Japanese government contacted the terrorist organization responsible in secret, making a deal to prevent the threat. Alright, the keep out is here. Alright, now I have to go back to Minorikawa so I can make the jump. Alright, now I can make the jump. That was ridiculous. There you go. Back to Kano. Alright. Several people were on the ground nearby, evidently injured by the explosion. A girl in the hoodie was crouched among them, doing her best to tend their injuries. Miku! Kano recognized her as the girl he talked to earlier during the traffic jam. Police! Yeah, get back, let me handle this. The girl was visibly relieved. Help her! She said. She pointed to a figure lying on the sidewalk a short distance from the burning minivan. It was a Middle Eastern girl. She appeared to be unconscious. Kanan! Well, I think she got hurt rescuing another girl about college age, the girl in the hoodie said. A college age girl? That might be a Tomi. What happened to the girl she saved? Kano asked. The Good Samaritan looked around. Huh? Where did she go? The rescuee has disappeared. This girl here, the girl in the hoodie, gestured toward the fallen girl. I can't believe how fast she was. She spoke with a hint of awe. The way she moved to get to the other girl, she was on a level way beyond mine. Kano took another look at the injured girl. Her figure looked rather delicate. It was hard to believe she was capable of great feat of athleticism. He started towards her, but Stanley stepped ahead of him. Leave this one to me, he said. His expression was unusually stern, even for him. You know her? Kano asked. The American didn't answer as he checked the girl's pulse and then her pupil. Hey, Stanley! Don't you have other things you should be doing? Stanley snapped. Fine then, Kano decided to collect some eyewitnesses' account. Patrol cars and ambulances arrived at the scene in a steady stream. Once the vehicle fire was under control, teams gradually began to calm down. Several officers worked to cover the area around the burned minivan with a blue tarp. Kano got his questioning underway, starting by flashing his badge at a man near the front of the crowd. Munikawa, excuse me, would you mind answering a few questions? The man puffed himself up. How about you answer a few questions for me? Was this an accident or an attack? We still don't know many details, Kano admitted. The man showed his finger in Kano's face. Let me rephrase that for you. This is a major incident. Huh? I've been around the block a few times and I know all your police PR lingo. And when you start talking about the details, that is 100% indicative of a major incident. Well, I sure picked the wrong guy to try and talk to. Stifling his frustration, Kano continued his questioning. Did you happen to notice anything unusual prior to the explosion? Unusual? Now that you mention it, I think I heard a cell phone ringtone. A ringtone? No, never mind, forget that. There's no way the ringtone of someone's phone would be audible through all of that. The man was probably right, but somehow the idea nagged at Kano. He jotted down a note in his pad. Kano. Kano! To Stanley, perfect timing. Thank you for your cooperation, Kano told the man. Then he hurried on his way. Stanley stepped in close enough to whisper. Who was that guy? An eyewitness to the explosion, apparently. Did he have any info? He said he heard a cell phone ringtone at the time of the explosion. Not sure if that's significant, though. Stanley stood silently for a moment, thinking. What about that girl? Kano asked. Has she woken up? No. I'm going to drive her to the hospital. Huh? Why do that yourself? Just look around, Stanley said. He cast his eyes over the scene. There were still many injured people lying on the roadside. It seems the authorities hasn't sent enough ambulances. But isn't your car back in Maruyamacho? Kano asked. Under the circumstances, I think it makes sense for me to go back for it, Stanley replied coolly. Besides, I only have a few things I'd like to ask her. Kano was curious. You do? He asked. Stanley's cell rang. Yes, Stanley answered the phone in English. As he listened, his demeanor changed. The blood drained from his face and his hand began to tremble slightly as he gripped the phone. Kano had never seen him this shaken up. You got it, Stanley said at last. He hung the phone and let out a sigh. What is it? Kano asked. Stanley headed into an alley without responding. Kano hurried after him. Once they were out of earshot of the crowd, Stanley finally spoke. That call right now was from Gordon, my superior. He broke off there and for a long while was silent. He appeared to be struggling with some strong emotion. Kano was getting impatient. What is it? If you're going to tell me something, decide not to press. I'm curious, but take your time. Kano decided not to press. If that's that difficult to talk about, you don't have to. No, Stanley said. I should tell you this. He braced himself before continuing. We were contacted on our end by the mastermind of this plot. Those international criminals you mentioned? Correct. Roughly 8 hours ago, they infected Maria Osawa with the war virus. What? Then they let her loose somewhere in Shibuya. Hold on. By war, you mean? Kano thought back of his earlier conversation with Stanley. These criminals were trying to get their hands on a new drug. An antiviral drug developed by Kenji Osawa that had been shown to be effective against the war virus. Stanley hesitated before continuing. This is a killer virus with a 100% mortality rate once it takes hold. Kenji Osawa's antiviral is our only means of combating it. A mortality rate of 100%? It has an incubation period of 12 hours. In another 4 hours, Maria Osawa will go symptomatic. After that, she'll begin spreading the virus throughout the city. It's capable of airborne transmission? Following the onset of symptoms, individuals infected with the war virus bleed from the lungs and the virus is readily released into the air via coughing. The war virus is highly resilient in the open air and can survive even after saliva or other fluids have evaporated. Simply getting within 2 meters of a symptomatic patient is said to carry a high risk of infection. Bodily fluids from the deceased patient carry an especially high concentration of the virus, and anything contaminated with such fluid must be thoroughly sterilized before it's safe. Stanley nodded. If we don't administer Kenji Osawa's antiviral before she develops symptoms... Yes? Kano's voice was trembling now. Stanley spoke with complete certainty. Everyone in Shibuya is going to die. Well then, we need to find Maria Osawa and get the antiviral to her as soon as possible, Kano said, panicking. Stanley remained cool. Just calm down. There's more to the story that... Stanley was interrupted by a strange sound from the upper floors of a nearby building. Unsure of what it was, the two men hurriedly relocated. They paused when they came to a vacant lot. The place was deserted, nor need to worry about being overheard here. You said there was more to the story, Kano prompted. The antiviral is stored in Kenji Osawa's laboratory. The lab is protected by a sophisticated security system, and apparently the storage area where the drug is kept requires a fingerprint identification for both Osawa and Tanaka. What? But Tanaka's... Kano couldn't help but gasp. Tanaka was currently a fugitive, the prime suspect in the kidnapping case. There was no chance of getting any fingerprints authorization from him at this stage. Is there any other way to get in? Kano asked. The door can also be unlocked via password in place of the fingerprint scanner, but we still need to know what Tanaka chose for his password. No. In any event, Stanley said, it's essential that we track down and secure Maria. But, he went on, his voice grave, even if we get to Maria to safety, the mastermind is now in possession of the war virus. If they want to, they can unleash a bioterrorist attack on Shibuya at any time. To put it bluntly, the lives of every man, woman and child in the city are in their hands. Kano felt a pulse of fear deep enough to give him vertigo. He slowly tilted his back, his head, and gazed at the sky, vast and blue as always. There had to be tens of thousands of people in Shibuya right now. Rumi and Shizuo were among them, and they might all be dead within a day. It felt so unreal, Kano's mind almost couldn't process it. With an effort of will, he shook himself out of his daze. Now was no time to waver. We have to try, he said. In the next 4 hours, we need to find Maria Osawa and figure out a way to stop this mastermind and the war virus. The word was such for himself as they were for his companion. Let's do this, Stanley. We might not always see eye to eye, but together I feel like you and I can find a way. But Stanley averted his gaze. My job here is simply to apprehend the mastermind. Kano felt a resurgence of his earlier anger at Stanley. Once again, he was putting his duties above human life. I'm sorry. Stanley's voice was a quiet mutter. You should get away from Shibuya as soon as possible, Kano. Kano had imagined that the American would never be worried for him. I appreciate the warning, he said, but I'm seeing this through to the end. This isn't the sort of thing you can solve with just an effort of willpower. Even so, giving up isn't the Japanese detective way. Stanley let off a nasal chuckle. Back to that again, are we? Same to you. Kano managed a tiny chuckle of his own. Listen, Stanley went on after a moment. This is just between you and me. The mastermind behind this kidnapping case is an arms dealer who goes by the name Alfred. Arms dealer, beyond simply selling weapons, illegal arms dealer also frequently involved in smuggling weapons unlawfully obtained through deals with government or military contracts. In recent years, such enterprises has become increasingly globalized. Some dealers form smuggling networks that also deal in money laundering, drug trafficking, and more. Alfred! The attempted bioterrorist attack on Kazumigaseki, an hotel bombing in Chicago, Alfred had an hand in all of them. What do you know about this criminal? Kano asked. Stanley's expression grows even darker. Alfred's signatures is extremely meticulous planning. But I don't mean meticulous in the same way you and I might normally think of it. Their plans are perfectly imperfect. Do you get what I mean? Kano shook his head. Alfred deliberately engineers accident to make things complicated and unpredictable. It's difficult to get a good grasp of what's going on, where the situation seems to be falling apart. People tend not to consider that coincidental mishaps might be anything but. In the end, they don't even realize they were playing right into the mastermind's hands all along. Kano could hear the intensity in Stanley's voice. I'm afraid that's all I can say. Stanley held out his right hand. See you around, Kano. If we're still alive. If we're still alive. Kano let that sink in for a moment. Nah, I'll shake your hand after we finish this case. With a slight smile, Stanley withdrew his hand. Then the two bumped fists instead. Alright, we'll meet again, Kano. I'm sure of it. Yeah! See you then. No sooner had Stanley departed than Kuze's voice came in under the wireless. Attention all units! Attention all units! As of now, further investigation on the kidnapping case is suspended. The director's voice sounds strangely cold. I repeat, as of now, further investigation on the kidnapping case is suspended. Wait, hold on, sir, Kano shouted. What is it, Kano? What is it, Kano? Could you let us know why? We've received information that Maria Osawa had been infected with an unknown virus and had been released somewhere in Shibuya. That matched up with what Stanley had just said earlier. An anti-bioterrorism security force would probably be deployed in Shibuya. Terrorism involves biological agents such as bacteria or viruses. Biological weapons are easier to acquire and transport than nuclear weapons, and because they rely on an organism's natural ability to proliferate or infect, they can yield powerful results for low effort. For these reasons, recent years has been seen widespread apprehension about the possibility that such weapons might be used by terrorists. In the event that a bioterrorism attack occurred in Japan, temporary quarantine and decontamination facilities would be set up in the affected area. This is no longer a simple kidnapping case. Our part in this is finished. No, it's not. We haven't managed to resolve anything. Kano, I assure you everyone else feels the same way as you do. Kuze's voice has a cautionary tone. They're still performing the autopsy on the body found in the blue minivan that exploded. I'll let you know once we have a positive ID. Kuze out. Director! But the line has already gone dead. Left at a loss, Kano gazes out of the cityscape. The sight of the bombed vehicle has calmed down briefly, but now the news network had begun reporting the herds of onlookers was growing. There was also a sizable crowd gathered outside of a large home electronics store. The large LCD television on display were shown a press conference being held by the governor of Tokyo. Alright, another choice. Kano might learn something new about the case, decide to watch the broadcast. Kano's part in this was over, he had to hurry and find Rumi before it was too late. No, let's watch the broadcast. Working closely with the administration, we are keeping a careful eyes on the situation as it develops. The governor's expression was solemn as he spoke. The moment we finished his statement, the reporters bombarded him with questions. It seems similar to the bioterrorism attack at Kumigaseki 2 years ago. Is there any possible connection? What countermeasure do we have in the events of Shibuya and the target of bioterrorism? The governor was visibly disconcerted. If this turns out to be a bioterrorist attack, we will establish emergency shelters with a large-scale quarantine station at Yoyogi Park. However, there are still many details that remain unknown. The politician was clearly struggling to maintain his composure. Can you comment on the rumors we're hearing that Shibuya might be blockaded off? Don't be ridiculous, the governor barked. What outlet are you with? Are you trying to start a panic when we don't even know all the details? Besides, it wouldn't be even possible to blockade the whole of Shibuya. The press conference continued. The governor and the reporters locked in belligerent back and forth. Kano left the electronics store and headed for the cafe where Rumi and Shizuo were waiting. Allegedly. He had to tell them both to get far away from Shibuya. Café Lautrec? The Café Lautrec seems quiet when Kano arrived. Shizuo was sitting alone. Kano scanned the establishment but didn't see Rumi anywhere. One of the staff greeted him. Welcome. Just one, sir? No, I'm meeting someone actually. Of course, sir. The hostess smiled and then went on her way. Shizuo was glaring at him. Kano walked over to him and bowed deeply. It's a pleasure to meet you, sir. I'm Shinya Kano. You look like even more of a knuckle dragger than I thought. Shizuo maintained his appraising stare. Rumi had something she needed to do, so she stepped away for a while, he said after a long moment. Kano sat down across from him. There was a laptop computer open to the table. Right now, the laptop is in sleep mode and there's nothing on the monitor. But just before Kano came in, Shizuo was browsing an internet forum. He takes his user handle from a nickname for the apples he grows on his own farm, which are pretty little things and nearly as sweet as honey. Oh my god! He was on the Ayaki's channel. Oh my god, he was pretty, honey. Oh my god, he was talking to Osawa on the forum as with all those emoji and stuff. The waitress came to take Kano's order, so he asked for an iced coffee. What are you using the computer for? Kano asked. I'm on the internet. Shizuo's voice was low and gruff. This cafe has an internet connection? May as well start with a little small talk. So what? Again, Shizuo glared at Kano. The words wouldn't come. No, actually, this is no time to be making idle chit-chat. If they got infected with a virus, Rumi and Shizuo might die. Look, please, you need to leave Shibuya right away. Shizuo's face contorted with confusion. What are you talking about? Why? Kano wasn't sure if he should tell the truth or not. He was strictly prohibited from discussing a case with anyone outside the department. As a former policeman himself, Shizuo ought to understand full well the secrecy and investigation required. But it wasn't like he just up and leave town with a good reason. Please listen, Kano said. There's a risk of a bioterrorism attack. It's very important that you go through, though I'm not at liberty to tell you why. We're gonna try the bioterrorist attack. Listen, there's a risk of... What's that? What I mean is, risk of... Shizuo pounded his fist on the table. Spit it out! Kano just couldn't say it. It didn't matter who he was talking to, he couldn't make himself leak the details of an ongoing investigation. Besides, there was no guarantee a bioterrorist attack would actually happen. If they could just find and secure Maria Sawa before she went symptomatic. Does it have something to do with the case you're working? Huh? You telling me to leave Shibuya. Does that have something to do with your case? Yes, Kano admitted. So why don't you run off with Rumi then? Shizuo's tone was frank. Well, I mean... When Kano didn't have an answer handy, Shizuo let out a single heavy sigh. Is your work important to you? He asked. Kano hesitated. Is it more important than Rumi? Well... Again, Shizuo cut Kano as if he waffled over how to answer. Me? I used to put my work before my family. There was no question in my mind that combating society's ills and solving cases was worth any prize. And because of that, I did some pretty reckless things. Almost wound up dead more than once. Shizuo paused, a forlorn look in his eyes. My wife did nothing but worry about me. So much that I didn't even realize when she worried herself sick. Clenched his fist on the table. I was so caught up in my work that I wasn't even there for her when she finally passed away. It was all so very absurd of me. The waitress came by and set Kano's iced coffee on the table. He sat there untouched, and still Shizuo looked at it pointlessly. With a tiny nod, Kano brought the cup to his lips. The bittersweet liquid was a balm to his parched throat. I told Rumi the same story, Shizuo continued, but I didn't tell her how absurd it was. I told her that her father only did what I had to do. He took a sip from his glass of water. I should do the same. Rumi, she's very much like her mother used to be. Their personalities are almost identical. And I don't want her to suffer the same way my wife did. Shizuo's fist clenched in his lap. What was it that made you become a detective in the first place? He asked. Well, at first I got the job because I thought it would make Rumi happy. And then I guess also because I thought it would make you like me, sir. It was the truth, but Shizuo simply chuckled. If your goal is to get me to like you, you may as well give up now. I'm sorry, sir, Kano said. I can't do that. Are you this stubborn around Rumi? Shizuo grumbled. I love your daughter, sir. I want to keep her safe. To make her happy. And why is that? Whenever I think about her, it just feels so amazing. I'm sure that you or anyone can emphasize with that. Everyone has someone they want to protect, who makes them feel that good. It's an admirable thing wanting to be a detective and protect the happiness of the people, but that doesn't mean you need to ignore your own happiness in the process. Oh, wait. That was the father. They change, but they don't give any hints. It's an admirable thing wanting to be a detective and protect the happiness of the people, but that doesn't mean you need to ignore your own happiness in the process. What you say may be true, sir. Earlier today, my partner was stabbed, and today is his wife's birthday. Shizuo arches brow. Is he going to make it? We're not sure yet. Last I knew, he was in critical condition. This is why I keep saying that the life of a detective is... Shizuo's word trailed off into a lamenting murmur. Even so, Kano was unmoved. Dictum number 1. Never lose sight of what you're supposed to protect. Ever. What's that? Something that a senior detective I admire very much said. It's a fundamental guiding principle I've stuck to as a detective, but I was wrong about the real meaning behind it. My partner was stabbed, there are people I want to rescue, so much has happened, and now I finally understand what those words mean. When you see someone in trouble, you help them. That's not something a good detective does. That's something a good person does. Kano took a look long good at Shizuo's face. He has surprised himself finding the words to speak his feelings so clearly, and he wondered what effect it had on the older man. I'm sure that, from your perspective as my future father-in-law, my being a detective means I'm putting my life on the line. But that's not entirely true. I can only be myself. This is the kind of person I am. I care about helping people. Even if I were a barker or a brewer or a bookseller, I'd still act the same way. You're being ridiculous. A baker and a detective don't assume anywhere near the same risk. Suppose that's true. Kano fussed with his air sheepishly. Shizuo grumbled. I think I see what kind of man you are now. He sounded oddly defeated. Which is why now is no time to just futz around. Kano sat up straighter at Shizuo's wailing tone. A detective needs more than just passion. A detective can't solve all of his problems with the sheer determinations alone. But at the same time, he needs more than just the ability to coldly assess a situation. He needs a conviction to stick to a case when it might otherwise seem prudent to give up. There was something new in Shizuo's expression now, and a gleam in his eyes that hadn't been there before. Kano almost felt like he was being sermonized by a senior officer. You got that? You need a cool mind but a fiery spirit. A detective without both of those is worth nothing. Do you mind if I write that down in my notebook here? Look, Shizuo said, sounding suddenly embarrassed. Aren't you in a hurry? Don't you have to get back to your case? Yes, and sir, please, I need you and your daughter to leave Shibuya right away. Yeah, I hear you. Kano conjured up Rumi's face in his mind. There was a chance he might never see her again. He forced the thought away as best as he could. By the way, if I may ask... because Kano is sitting up, but it's Shizuo that's talking. If I may ask, what was it about Rumi that made you fall in love with her? What? Where's this coming from all of a sudden? Was it her looks? No, it wasn't just that. Kano found himself in tongue-tied again. I mean, she is pretty cute. Even if this is my own daughter I'm talking about. Shizuo shocked him by grinning from ear to ear. Well, yes, she sure is, but it's more than just that. She's also very sweet and kind-hearted. Ah, she is, isn't she? Yeah, she really is. For the first time, Kano and Shizuo smiled at one another. You're a man who lets his emotions show on his face, Shizuo said. And for a detective, that's... Actually, that's not so bad. Thank you, sir, Kano said. He bowed to Shizuo and he stood up from his seat. Never lose sight of what you're supposed to protect, huh? I like that. Wise word indeed. Kano turned back to look back and then bowed deeply to Shizuo one last time. The ability to coldly assess a situation. Kano knew what he needed to do. There was one thing that was nagging him. No matter how hard he thought about it, it still didn't add up. Why would Tateno let Al Karawan go free? He needed to get back to the precinct and get the truth from Al Karawan firsthand. As he walked along, he considered what he did know about the fact of the case. Just what sort of plan had Halford put into motion here? It seems that Tanaka and Osawa held the keys to understanding it. There had been relay handoff on the the phony attaché case, a relay that Tanaka had been complicit in. Then there was Itomi missing, carrying the antiviral. Osawa had confirmed that itself. Osawa is in red, and I believe this is the jump I needed to finish him. Yes! Let's complete. Alright. Yes, let's complete Osawa. I'm almost done with Kano because it's 3:55. And I'm jumping back to 3:50 with Osawa. So, back at the couch. Before the news was shared with the Osawas, the member of the investigation team quickly briefed Detective Kajiwara. Osawa and I sat down on the sofa on the far side in the room watching. They could see Kajiwara go pale. He wiped the sweat from his forehead with an handkerchief several times. Bad news, Osawa thought. Mr. Osawa! Ma'am? Kajiwara shuffled his way over them at last. We've just gotten a word from headquarters. Right now, the task force is in an uproar. The detective went to see. What? I don't want to jump there. He hesitated ominously. Osawa braced himself. Please, let's hear it. It seems that your daughter Maria is safe. What? Osawa felt an unexpected surge of relief. You made it? The case has been solved, added I. For a moment they almost sounded like a happy, married couple. It was only the stern look on Kajiwara's face that gave them pause. However, as of yet, we do not have her in custody. I'm not sure I understand, Osawa said. You know she's alive, but you don't have her. How? Deep furrows appear in Kajiwara's forehead. I'm sorry, sir. The information we received from up top is complicated. We've confirmed that she was able to escape confinement. It's just... The detective gave every appearance of holding something back. If there's something you need to tell us, then just say it, Osawa told him. It seems that Maria's been affected by a virus. Infected? Osawa felt as if a talon claw has just clutched his heart. It's not one I've ever heard of before, but apparently it's called the war virus. Yeah, Osawa and I made a shocking realization at the same time. Osawa's vision went dark. He felt as if it plunged into a black void of despair. Darling? I asked raspily. She didn't need to put her fears into words. Osawa felt them just as plainly in his own gut. You're an expert on virology, aren't you, Mr. Osawa? Kajiwara said. Are you familiar with the war virus? Osawa held up a hand to forestall further question. There was no time for that. How many hours ago was she infected? He demanded. I wasn't told that much. Is that important to know, sir? Depending on where Maria was infected, we may or may not still be. Osawa trailed up abruptly as the reality of the situation struck home. This wasn't the same as when Itomi has been infected. Right now, there was no way of getting Tanaka's cooperation, which meant there was no way of accessing the antiviral storage. In other words, getting the cure to Maria would be impossible. Osawa had swam. Detective Kajiwara, I beg of you, your people need to catch Tanaka as soon as possible. I can't share the details, but if you don't, something terrible is going to happen. Just then, Kajiwa's cell phone rang. He picked it up quickly. What did you say? The detective's shout shattered the anxious silence that had fallen. I shuddered visibly at the outburst. Kajiwara nodded sharply, still listening. More creases formed in his forehead. Understood. I'll let them know. He hung up. All eyes were on him. That was headquarters. Osawa swallowed the lump in his throat. He could feel himself quaking all over. A minivan we believe belonged to the syndicate exploded near Jinan in Shibuya. A body was found amongst the burning wreckage of the vehicle. Who was it? Osawa interjected. Tell me! Please don't let it be Maria. Please don't let it be Maria. Please don't let it be Tommy. Kajiwa took a breath before speaking. Oh, if it's Tanaka, we're in deep shit. We've conclusively identified the remains as Mr. Tanaka's. Ah, no! No, 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 no. He knew the password. Now his fingerprints are burned. There's no way to get the entire viral now. Now the town is fucked. I just jumped off her chair and yelled. The cry was visceral, almost bird-like. Osawa looked around in surprise. It was I. It's not true! You're lying! Her shrill scream reverberated through the room. Osawa felt like he wanted to scream too. With Tanaka there was no way to get to the antiviral. Which meant that Maria was going to die. To be continued! With a twist! Alright, let's go back to Kano. Let's continue. What's the map? Oh, wait. Tanaka and Osawa, the key to understanding it, has been turned off. It seems that Tanaka and Osawa, the keys to understanding it, they had been really end off. Then there was Hitomi missing. Osawa had confirmed that himself. Kano was staring up to form a vague picture of what Alfred was up to. If the mastermind's goal was to acquire the antiviral, then obtaining the cooperation of Osawa and Tanaka was vital to that plan. After all, their fingerprints verification was required to physically access the drug. In order to overcome that hurdle, Alfred has presumably managed to win over Tanaka somehow, and had them kidnap Maria Osawa to provide leverage against her father. No doubt that was how they got Hitomi to take the antiviral with her to Achiko. While the police were distracted by following the Atashi case, Alfred would then take the antiviral for Hitomi. That was the general plan as far as Kano could surmise. Just then, a call from Kuzi came in over the wireless. We've identified the body found inside the blown-up minivan. Kano's hands tingled as it gripped the wireless. Mamoru Tanaka, male, 40 years old. An employee of Okochi Pharmaceutical. Positive ID. Was obtained from the subject's personal belongings. What? Kano gasped. If Tanaka was dead, it would now be almost impossible to access the antiviral drug in the laboratory. At this point, the only antiviral they had any chance of obtaining was whatever Hitomi was carrying. Blood transfusion! Kano thought back to what Stanley had said earlier. Oh no, wait, they don't have the same blood type. Oh! Even if we get Maria to safety, the mastermind is in possession of the wires. Please make one of them O negative. Maybe we get Maria to safety. Masterminds the position of war virus. If they want to, they can unleash a bioterrorist attack on Shibuya at any time. Put it bluntly, the lives of every man, woman, and child in the city are in their hands. No! A chill ran down Kano's spine. If someone did release the wall virus, there would be no way to stop it from spreading. If Alfred really was planning a bioterror attack, Shibuya would well and truly become a city of the dead. He couldn't help but feel that the whole department was playing right into Alphar's hand. Kano staggered, physically stricken by the realization of how terrifying a foe they were up against. Now it looks more and more like 24! To be continued. It's no longer a kidnapping case. It's now race against the clock. With 1 hour to play. Alright, so yeah, to be continued here. Yeah, let's continue with Minorikawa since we need to know what happened to him after he got interviewed with by Kano. Man with a suit, approaching flashing his bag, so a detective would question for him, huh? How about you answer a few questions for me? Was this an accident or an attack? We still don't know many details. Let me rephrase that for you. This is a major incident, Minorikawa exclaimed. Huh? The detective looked pretty flummoxed. I never heard of that word before. Flummoxed? I've been around the block a few times and I know all your police PR lingo. And when you start talking about the details, that is 100% indicative of a major incident. Brushing aside Minorikawa's remark, the detective tried another question. Did you happen to notice anything unusual prior to the explosion? Unusual? Minorikawa thought back to the moments before the minivan blew up. Now that you mention it, I think I heard a cell phone ringtone. The detective tilted his head. A ringtone? No, never mind, forget that. There's no way the ringtone of someone's phone would be audible through all of that. Minorikawa struck the thought from his own mind as he said it. In all likelihood, he'd associated the ringtone and the explosion simply because one had happened right before the other. Kano! A large-statured Caucasian man had called out to the detective. Evidently, the detective's name was Kano. Thank you for your cooperation, he said with a bow. Then he ran over to the foreigner. Mr. Minorikawa! Minorikawa turned at a female voice behind him. Miku. He found Miku standing there. She looked like she's been crying. Miku, about earlier, He trailed off, searching for an apology. It's okay. That doesn't matter right now. Miku looked around the scene. Minorikawa followed her gaze. Something big went down here, he said. I know, she exclaimed. The explosion! I saw it happen with my own eyes! Your what? Miku looked around nervously. Are you alright? He asked her. You're not hurt, aren't you? I'm okay. My ears are still ringing a bit, that is all. Good. So what did you see at the time of the explosion? Miku assumed a thoughtful expression. There was this girl who was running toward the minivan. And then I think I saw this other Middle Eastern girl suddenly make a dive for her. And then the van just exploded. Wait, hold on, Minorikawa said. So if I'm getting this right, it sounds like this Middle Eastern girl saved the girl who was running up to the van? Miku nodded. Just then, Minorikawa's phone chimed. He received an email. It was from Shiaki. Mr. Mino, are you still working on your copy? Yeah, it's 3:40. He checked his watch. At this point, the 4 o'clock deadline was barely 20 minutes away. Nonetheless, he decided to stay at the bomb scene. He could definitely smell a scoop here, he was sure of it. Even if he couldn't get his 6 pages done by 4, landing a major scoop should be enough to persuade the loan company. Minorikawa jotted his phone number down and handed it to Miku. I'll make things up to you, he said. Give me a call later. Miku took the scrap of paper, puzzled. If you're looking for Aiki Jujutsu Dojo, I knew a few. At that, her face lit up. Minorikawa decided to process the scene for clues. As he wandered around, he caught sight of the Detective Kano and his Caucasian colleague heading down an alley. What's that I smell? Something pretty damn fishy. If they were slipping away for a private conversation, maybe there was some way he could listen in. Minorikawa hurried into one of the buildings that bordered the alley. He looked around and found a public bathroom upstairs on the alley side of the building. Hoping beyond hope, he slipped up the bathroom window. Voices outside. He held his breath and listened. Those international criminals you mentioned. Kano's words were faint, but he couldn't make them out. Minorikawa did a little fist pump. Correct! Roughly 8 hours ago, they infected Maria Osawa with the war virus. Then they let her loose somewhere in Shibuya. Hold on, by Yua you mean? The discussion involved some terms Minorikawa wasn't familiar with. He focused all of his mental energy on what the two were saying. This is a killer virus with a 100% mortality rate once it takes hold. 100%, Minorikawa muttered to himself. The shock caused him to unclench the fist he didn't realize he'd made. This wasn't just an interesting conversation. It was monumental! It has an incubation period of 12 hours. In another 4 hours, Maria Osawa will go symptomatic. After that, she'll begin spreading the virus throughout the city. It's capable of airborne transmission. If we don't administer Kenji Osawa's antiviral before she develops symptoms, yes, everyone in Shibuya is going to die. Minorikawa felt goosebumps rise all over his body. If they were talking about a virus and a Kenji Osawa, they could only mean that Kenji Osawa. He recalled that Osawa said what he had said earlier about the power balance of the world being at stake. There was no doubt about it. This was a tremendous scoop. Well then, we need to find Maria Osawa and get the antivirals to her as soon as possible. Just calm down, there's more to the story. It's starting to leak out! The door swung open loudly and someone came barging into the bathroom. Yamagishita! He's going to the bathroom and he's barely holding in. You know what? I don't know if it's contagious like yawning, but I think I'm going to go to the bathroom as well. Be right back. I'm telling you guys, if I can take screenshot from this game, I think I want to use this screenshot for my potty break card to say, be right back, I need to take a potty break, and I'm going to use this. Oh, it's about to leak out. How does he, yeah, it's starting to leak out. Ah, it was Yanagishita. Why him again? And why here of all places? Why now? Oh, I'm leaking here! I'm leaking here! Yanagishita was on the verge of hysterics. His voice must have been audible outside. Kano and his companion went to take their discussion elsewhere, and they'd just been getting to the good part. Ah, you son of a bitch! He's doing a choking hold on the ankle, and Yanagishita has one hand on his crotch and the other hand on the urinal. He's trying to reach the toilet to get a leak, and Minorikawa said, "You're making me lose my scoop, you son of a bitch! I'm gonna make you hurt." He took his feet, and then he twisted his ankle like a wrestle move. Enraged, Minorikawa grabbed Yanagishita and tossed him to the floor. "I'm leaking! Shut your mouth!" He put all him straight into an ankle hole and gave him a good twist. A professional wrestling technique that involves grabbing an opponent by the ankle. Being caught up like this can be extremely painful. It also put a lot of pressure on the lower body, and if you're already fighting the urge to urinate, well... Ah! Yanagishita wailed. Ah! I don't want to scream too loud. I haven't got my soundproof panels up yet. I've been offered some panels to install where my desk is. I think I'm gonna have to contact my. I need to text my contact to see what's up with it, because she only said, "Oh, I'm gonna have news around it in September." And it's been 2 weeks. 2 weeks already. Minorikawa left the idiot blubbering in the bathroom and hurried out of the building. He hadn't heard the whole discussion, but he had a scoop on his hands anyway. This would be a tremendous score for Heaven Publishing, enough to let the company rebuild. He was certain of it. And if I'm the one saying it, it's gonna be true. As he ran along, Minorikawa tried to plan his next steps. First, he had to get back to the editing office. He had explained the situation to people from the loan company. Then he'd go find that paperwork from Osawa and have Shiaki check his copy. And then after that, okay, so he still have a lot of things he needed to do. He swore himself on both cheeks to get himself psyched up. His phone rang. It was Shiaki. Mr. Mino, something terrible has happened. Shiaki's voice was a broken yelp. Whoa, calm down. Over on Koendori, this minivan exploded. I know, I was there. Yeah, I'm well aware. Thanks to that, I've got a big scoop that... Shiaki cut him off. Just now, I got a call from Mr. Toyama's daughter, Hana. This time, Minorikawa waited for her to finish. She had a sinking feeling. She said that Mr. Toyama wasn't there. It was a suicide. Minorikawa's knees buckled. Tell me you're joking. No, I mean the van explosion is all over the news, and Anna was in tears on the phone, and... Mr. Mino? Mr. Mino, are you still there? Toyama had killed himself? Minorikawa felt the energy drain from his body. Oh, is that a bad ending? Where is she? To be continued. No! That's not a bad ending. It just... Oh well, Just what happened? Because all I got left is Maria. Yes. All I got left is Maria. I'm stuck with a bad end. Someone else's action can ensure that Anna crosses path with her again. Well, then Maria will talk to her and avoid this minivan. Alright, we need to cross path with Hannah, but I don't know how. Because I cannot progress if everybody's finished. Let's see. Classical recommendation from Osawa. Osawa started at 3:30 for some reason. That's why his was so short. I think I'm gonna refuse the int. I'll see if it changed anything.
No, not particularly.
Oh, okay. Well, anyway, thanks for helping me out with that cheery thing. Adios. And then, like a whirlwind,
Mr. Yanagishita zooms away, leaving me alone in the alley. Phew! Suddenly I feel totally exhausted.
Let me check. No, bad end is still here. That didn't change anything. That didn't change anything. There's another. What's so your name doesn't matter? Let's try. Wait, no, two. All right, wham. What's that wham? Looking ahead again, Achi saw that they were bearing down a young grade school girl and hang on dismay. Achi. Oh! Yeah, that's where they caught the girl in his arm. Let me check that again. Yeah, he just caught Anna there. Alright, so for some reason he caught Anna in the air. Alright, so Achi came in contact with Anna. So if he's gonna dodge that. Took a quick leap to one side. He managed to avoid crashing into her by taking a tumble himself, but the girl was still definitely a big shock. Sorry about that, Achi said. Are you alright? But the girl didn't answer or even meet Achi's eyes. She just looked around as if in a daze. Was she waiting on someone maybe? Odd kid, Achi thought. I hope she's okay. Once more, Achi and Hitomi set off running. Alright, this just saved. That didn't change Archie's timeline, but yeah, it removed Maria's bad ending. Perfect. Now she's aiming aimlessly. Billboard outside with Ayakamiki. Oh!
I catch a sight of a little Hana in front of the billboard. She's showing something to a woman there, some colorful sheets of paper.
Hmm?
The woman looks a lot like the musician in the poster.
Oh, that must be her. Is she giving an autograph to the little girl?
Moreover, I have the feeling I've seen her someplace before. Where could I have seen her? Man, having amnesia is really a pain in the ass.
Yeah, that's our idol and she doesn't even know it.
I have no way of knowing whether I've forgotten something or had no memory of it in the first place. This woman looks through the paper Hannah held out to her, nodding approvingly at each one, and I can hear the murmur with admiration. Hannah! I wave as I scamper on over to her. As I do, the woman abruptly hurries off. Hey, we meet again, I say. Hannah just gave me a bored look. Who was that just now, I ask.
I don't know.
Hannah quickly gathers up her belongings and starts walking briskly away. Oh, hey, wait up, I called out. The girl ignores me. She's moving at a jog now, heading from Spanish Hill towards Koindori.
Ah! She fell on her ass. On her face for some reason.
As she stepped out onto Koindori, she trips and falls down hard. The contents of her bag spill out on the road. Oh, whoops! Catching up to her, I gather up some of the fallen pages. What's this? There are poems written on the colored paper. A look of embarrassment crosses Anna's face and she snatches the pages out of my hands.
No! Don't touch those! Those are for sale!
For sale?
I'm selling poems that I wrote.
Oh, wow! That's incredible! She looks surprised by the compliment.
Incredible? My friends at school say they were dumb.
That's not true! I only saw a little just now, but I thought it was a really good poem.
You're just saying that. I've been out there in the Shibuya for weeks trying to sell these, but the only person who bought one was that lady just now.
Anna lets out a mournful sigh. Well, what are you up there selling poems for anyway?
I thought maybe I would help pay back our debts.
Huh? Okay, that's not something I expect to hear from a little kid.
My dad's in real deep.
She continues. The topic makes me think of Mr. Yanagishita. Guess today is my day for meeting people mired in debt.
And I'm only in elementary school, so I can't get a part-time job. Japan's Labor Standard Act prohibits the hiring of children under the age of 15. For certain jobs within the entertainment industry, however, employers can obtain permission from the Labor Standard Inspection Office for younger children to work, like idol.
I'm impressed. She's so brave. She's maybe a little hard to approach, but she is just a kid after all. She's so brave, I just want to give her a hug. Oh, Anna! I hear a strange wailing call from behind me.
Anna!
Startled, I turn around to see Mr. Toyama standing there, tears streaming from his eyes.
Oh, Anna! Anna! I'm so sorry. I had no idea you were trying so hard to...
Toyama rushes up to the girl. It's quite the emotional father-daughter reunion. Or at least that's how it looked until Anna slaps her father across the face with a bundle of papers.
What was that for? Don't you give me that! I'm sick of all this running around!
She delivers several more well-placed smack with her little craft project.
Okay.
Toyama says at last.
I know you're upset, but I have to ask you for just one thing. Then we can see about getting through the day, yeah? Okay, but just what?
I can't help but find this ornery interaction kind of charming. You two get along really well, don't you, I say.
Oh yeah, no.
The two give simultaneous contradictory replies. Then Anna suddenly starts to walk off with Toyama tottering after her. It's such a weird little sight that I can't help but laugh. Well, later then. Bye-bye. Oh, I'm next to the van! Ah! I'm okay. But damn! Just how long did that vent was in the air? I'm looking at all the people across the fire. What's with all these waves? Further along Koindori, I come across a car on the roadside that's spectacularly aflame. A group of onlookers surrounds it in a confused uproar. It seems almost unreal, like I'm holding a set for a TV show or something. I stand there, staring into the flames. Huh? What's that? I can see something. The raging heat makes the air shimmer.
This is a flashback from when she was in the Middle East.
The scent of dry sand fills my nose. A gust of searing wind tugs on my hair. Where am I? Decaying roads, decaying houses, a decaying city. Huh. And the people who live there. People who live. People who live. People who live. There's someone by my side. Someone is with me watching all of this. It's a girl. The person with me is a girl slightly younger than me. She says something to me. Anais me. Cat's cradle.
Now there's another image. She's playing Cat's Cradle.
That's my voice now. Cat's cradle? Whose voice was that? What's going on? Who am I talking to? Yeah, cat's cradle. I'm showing someone how to do a cat's cradle with string. But who? Who am I showing how to do a cat's cradle? Kanan! The word Kanan echoes in my head. Kanan? I utter the name aloud. The image floating through my mind are beginning to break up and vanish. But I feel like for a brief moment at least, I caught hold of the edges of some of my lost memories. That's right! Kanan! As soon as I see it, I'm filled with a powerful sense of duty. There's something I'm responsible for. Something that I needed to do. And if I don't, this Kanan person is going to be a grave danger. Calm down, just calm down. I'm playing with myself now, finding the impulse to take off running. If I did, where would I go? I have no idea what my destination or my goal even is. Please, please remember something. Please, please. I gaze out at the flames, practically praying now.
Don't move.
A voice hisses in my ear, and I feel something hard press against my back.
It's still the assassin guy with a cane who's holding Maria at gunpoint next to a Denny's. Yes, would you believe there are Denny's in Japan?
I don't need to turn around to recognize whose voice it is. I thought you said you didn't have any business with...
I did a little thinking,
says the man with a cane slowly.
About how I might lure out Hitomi Osawa, see? I'm going to use you as bait. To be continued. So that's how it ends for Maria. Oh my god. So this is it. Everybody survived 3 o'clock. So everybody is alive to see the 4 p.m. mark. This must be the conclusion. This looks like it's gonna be the final episode. So alright, our 5 people. This ain't the old SOS anymore. I'm going to stop you. Oh, how touching!
What do you mean you'll kill me?
In order to minimize the spread of the virus, find out next week for the epic conclusion of 428 Shibuya Scramble. Choice and sacrifice. I got a trophy. Alright. So what's changed? The background changed a little bit. But yeah. I can't wait for next week to finish this game. Yeah. Alright, so everything is saved. Yeah, so right now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a little pause. I'm gonna host someone, and after this little break, I'm gonna have a little bit of a dinner. After that, we're gonna continue root letter. So we're gonna host my friend Super Blind Man, who is playing right now Mortal Kombat 11